What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to my biggest video series ever. This is the biggest undertaking I have ever undertook. And by that, I mean people told me this wouldn't even be possible. And you know what? It wasn't. It broke my computer. This destroyed my attempt every step of the way. I'll explain more in just a moment. Now, before we get into the structure of the video, a quick shout out to my wonderful sponsor, GameWorkCreate. Not only do they offer awesome Kickstarter board games, but they also offer a ton of fantastically printed minis. I have gotten them personally, and they are wonderful. Not only that, but they will print any STL you send them. They'll give you a quote on kind of what it would take to print it, and they'll do that, which means not only do they have a wonderful store full of a whole bunch of STLs that you can get printed, but anything you see in this video, if you like it, you can get it printed even without a 3D printer, or if you don't want to bother, or if it's too big. Sometimes, like I only have a Mars 2 Pro, and so with that, I can't print a lot of big scenery, but you know what? GameWorkCreate can. So go ahead and check them out down in the link below. Feel free to just see everything they have to offer, because it is quite a lot. And thank you, of course, to them. Now, this video. So the plan was to do it all. And I kind of didn't realize how big of a video this is going to be. There are hundreds of them. So even if I only give each one a minute, you're talking like a 3-hour video at minimum, probably more. Not only that, but my computer only has so much RAM and Chrome loves to use it. And so having that many tabs open killed it. I had to break it up into about 100 patrons / My Mini Factory tribes that I could manage. So this is only part one of a much broader series where I'm going to be covering every single one that I know of. So if there is, and this is focused on like miniatures, right? So like painting, stuff like that. They'll have busts and whatnot as well, terrain, stuff like that, gaming stuff, you know? If there's something I'm missing though, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll add to the list. Everything is linked down there, by the way, guys, so go ahead and check that out. It is a lot for sure. It's big. The last one in the series will have a master list of all of them. I'll have to figure out a place to host them, probably on my website, because it'll break the character limit on YouTube as well. This is too big of a video and a very big undertaking. I hope you find it useful, enjoyable. Feel free again, bookmark the video and kind of go back when you need to or whatever. It's kind of nice to see real quick what kind of art styles are available. I think more than just seeing a list of names. That's why I did a video like this. I think it's kind of helpful to actually see them, even if a little bit briefly, and I can kind of comment on them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I hope you enjoy. So starting things out with Kino. This is one of those that actually has a lot of their stuff hidden, and a lot of times I think this is because of potential copyright issues. I mean, obviously it's fan art and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm not going to get into the kind of the debate there on that, but I understand why they kind of hide it from public view. You can, however, see a lot here, and as you can see, the quality is stellar. I'm seeing a whole lot of different inspirations from video games, anime, Warhammer, all sorts of stuff here. So very, very cool looking there. All right, next up we have Ronin Arts. Now, Ronin Arts, it surprises me in their breadth of the amount of things that they offer, but also just their style is super cool. So as you can see, you got like these skulls and stuff here. And by the way, this is filmed November 30th. So it's like right before December. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So if you see something you like, well, you might still be able to grab it last minute. Otherwise, there's actually even new stuff available. Well, but seriously, really, really cool stuff. I really like the style of a lot of this stuff. It just looks super cool. Like I think there's one down here that is just stellar. Yeah, like look at all this stuff here. And to me, that looks great. So super cool stuff there. Definitely go check them out. Next up, we have 3D Art Digital. This one is pretty self-explanatory in its name, of course, but again, some super cool stuff as well. You can see that really cool dragon and stuff. They are actually from Ukraine, so they were paused for a while because of the whole war and everything, where they didn't have a home to even be in, and they've kind of come back together. Not all of them, sadly, but enough of them to be able to keep making cool stuff just like this. So feel free to check them out as well. We also have Signum Workshop. Signum Workshop is kind of a more recent newcomer, actually. They were a board game maker for a long time, and they still are, but they decided to offer a whole lot of really cool STLs too. They have a very unique style, both in their art and, of course, in the minis that they provide, like riding giant iguanas and stuff like that. So super cool stuff. Feel free to check that out as well. Some of these I know more about than others because I'm personally familiar with them, but that is what it is. Gamescape 3D. This is on myminifactory.com. If there is a myminifactory.com version of it, a tribe instead of a Patreon, I'll typically link there just because I like the website more than I like Patreon. But you know, it is what it is. And some people don't keep it up to date. Their logo always reminds me of SpongeBob. I don't know why. It always reminds me of SpongeBob. They do some killer terrain though. I mean, it's really good looking stuff, high quality, very unique stuff. From my understanding is it prints very well. Also, they show a lot of real photos of it instead of like renders, which I always appreciate. So feel free to check that out as well, of course. Okay, next up we have Kraken's Vault. What a great name. And again, very dynamic, very, there's a lot going on. It's not just somebody standing on a base here. There's definitely a lot there. And as you can see, the tying them into the base looks like that's a real big priority for them. And I really do dig that. I think that looks super cool. Lightning is not included, by the way. So sadly, though they could include lightning maybe, at least the representation of it. All right, moving on, we have Ernest Nimorski, I'm not gonna be able to say that right, so I apologize for that. Or N.K. And then this is Nerikson or Nerikson. I don't know what they're doing there. You can see though, again, super high quality. The amount of artists that are able to kind of make a name for themselves by doing just what they're great at is so awesome these days. I love it. I think it's wonderful. Very great motion in all of these. I think a good focus on texture, on faces. Really do dig that. Great work there. My Pokeprints. Guys, this is self-explanatory. If you like Pokemon, you probably want this. This is pretty fantastic. It's exactly what you would think it is. It looks awesome. By the way, that loaded pretty quick. If it doesn't, I apologize. I have potentially killed my computer because I opened all these tabs in Chrome. So I'm sure I've maxed out the RAM. So bear with me if it does get slow. I love that he has a spoon. I think that's great. So it looks like it shows all versions of them, all you know, their evolutions and stuff as well, which is super cool to see. And they look fantastic. They're great at doing renders, by the way, too. That looks fantastic. Next up, we have Dark Realms. And as you can see, they do a lot of terrain and stuff like that. You can see some really cool stuff. Like, I really appreciate this kind of stuff. I think that's great to show, like, you know, little tracks of river and stuff like that. So you can really piece things together, I think, quite well. They even show the final product, which is always appreciated. Though the renders, of course, are pretty as well. And again, some super advanced stuff there. Feel free to check them out too. All right, next up we have RN Estudio. I don't know what the Estudio is. I see that often. I imagine it's just, from a different language. But they do some great stuff. I love their classic JRPG series. This is volume 12. They've been doing this for a long time. But if you want Final Fantasy VII characters, if you want stuff like that, they do the bosses. They do all sorts of really cool minis that I really do dig. I think they do a great job on a lot of these. And then they do their own original stuff as well, which again is fantastic. It's got a lot of different like dragons and everything in between. I love the hat on that. Look at the hat. That is great. So super cool stuff and really high quality from what I can see. Next up we have Rako Vendetta Estudio. Again with the Estudio. I like it. Estudio. It sounds cool. So anyway, yeah, again, great stuff. Look at this. I mean, just fantastic looking stuff. It reminds me a lot of the new VaultZ faction in Warhammer, and that might be on purpose, I don't know, but as you can see, they offer a lot of different kinds of stuff when it comes to different kinds of, like this is like ballerina football people is what that is. And they have all these crazy guys here, just a lot of fun stuff from what I can see. Really high quality, looks super cool. Next up, we have Cast and Play. Cast and Play looks super cool as well. They do some great stuff. I've seen their prints and they're fantastic. They offer a ton of different things too. A good mix of things, which I really appreciate. Like, look at this. You get bases, you get terrain, you get big minis, you get small minis, you get a ton of stuff. Look at all of that. Dear Lord, they pump stuff out. And it's not like it's like quality or quantity over quality either. It looks great. I've seen it print great. So super cool for them on doing that. Next up, we have a Ghamak. I never know how to say this one. It's a very popular kind of sci-fi one that they focus on a lot. Though they do have a fantasy tier now too. I don't think they always did, but at least they do now. And boy, am I glad they do, because look at that if it loads. That is Just great stuff. I love the little guy here. That is, I mean, just the scale difference is sweet. That is just incredible. Looks great. Looks really, really good. All right, the next up we have VaultZ or VaultZ. I'm going to say VaultZ. Really good quality stuff. And look at $7. $7 for premium? My goodness, that's a great deal. I mean, look at this. This is one of those things where you're not going to get a ton of minis each time, but they have so much just dynamic motion to them. They look like they're made really well. I love the celebrity ones. That's super cool. I really dig that. Guys, who doesn't want Big Boss, right? Am I right? I mean, it looks great. All of this is fantastic stuff. So really cool that they're doing this. I think they're doing a great job on it. It looks great. All of this looks great. Love the textures, love everything about it. Looks super cool. Next up, we have the Dragon Trapper's Lodge. This is another big name one. They have quite a few people. I think they have a pretty popular Patreon as well. And guys, again, you're getting so much stuff. It's an entire theme's worth of stuff. You can make all sorts of things around it. Giant flying whales. I love it. Yes, please. Big old airships with giant cannons. Yes, please. I would like some more. They look fantastic. All of this looks super cool. I love the like hippo people and stuff like that. Just wild, crazy, imaginative, artistic, and different. I mean, look at this guy. He's so happy. I love it. It's great. So definitely check them out. They're doing some great stuff over there. How about Sculptooner? This one is funny. It looks like almost a joke, like it's like some kind of weird World of Warcraft, Warhammer 40k joke thing. But if you look at their minis, like besides that like top level one, like these look really good. These are super cool. Look at how dynamic it is. I love that. The bases are cool. They're definitely rendering them really well. Just overall, again, very impressed with what I can see. Again, they're hiding a little bit. Makes it hard for people like me to show it off, but it is what it is. Looks super cool. Next up, we have Warp Miniatures. This is very, very cool stuff. You can kind of see even the welcome pack has a very cool beholder in there. Definitely some cool little hyena people, or I think they're calling them gnolls here, which is fine. It's the same, pretty much same thing as far as I'm concerned. Woodland halfling villagers. Oh, I mean, look at the character that they have in there. Fantastic. Love it. Looks super cool. Definitely check them out as well. Okay, we have Clay Beast Creation. Love the fact they're in green. I like when they do different things like that. Put it all in green. There's some that put it all in like this light blue and stuff like that. Really is attention grabbing to me. And these look amazing. They look super cool. I love it. Look at just the style of it. Looks great. I really like the kind of like forest is come alive and is sentient and is attacking you and all this stuff. And I mean, it just looks super cool. Look at that guy. I don't know if you can zoom in on him or not. Let's take a look at him. Look at that. Dear Lord, guys. I love a good scythe. That's sweet. Sweet, cool stuff. Doing awesome. Next up, we have Skullforge Studio. This is more of a modern thing, as you can see, which I think is super cool. You don't get too much of that, but it's kind of like a Fallout modern, if you ask me, where it's like slightly futuristic, but still fairly kind of modern. Hopefully that makes sense. But you get like really cool stuff like this. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing here, because yeah, that's a certain war perhaps fought in the stars, maybe. So definitely looks cool there too. And that provides a lot of those minis you can use outside of it as well, right? It's a very, kind of that 70s, 80s sci-fi kind of style, right? Which I really dig. I think that's super cool. Kaf Art Studio. Let's look at this one. I can see right now we're looking at some 40k kind of stuff. Some stuff you might be able to use in a grimdark future where there's only war. I don't know. Which looks super cool. And again, a lot of it is hidden, but not all of it, so you can still see some of the stuff. It looks great. I love that they're incorporating the base into it. One of my biggest complaints about 40k, which I love, which is why you see several armies behind me, and build boxes, because I buy more than I build, because that's life, is because they all kind of have to stand on the base unless they're like floating up on something. And so they're all kind of flat-footed, and you can't get super dynamic necessarily. I appreciate when they're sculpted on the bases. That's just really nice to see. Good grief, look at that lion. That looks great. Cool looking stuff. Definitely check them out as well. Next up we have Man, I Love Figures. I love that name, so that's cool. And I see 2B here. I'm already interested. I see several 2Bs. Several 2Bs. I see some digitization and stuff. There's some cool stuff here. Let's take a look. What's going on there? Okay, we got Shredder for that one. That's great. I'm recognizing a lot of these. That's cool. Magic is super cool. Really dig Magic. Look at this. Just some really cool looking stuff here, if you ask me. Love the Near Automata automata. I never say that right stuff, but it looks like we got some superheroes perhaps as well. All sorts of cool, fun stuff. Oh, that might be, is that Persona 5? I think that's actually what we're looking at there. Kind of hard to tell. Anyway, looks super cool for sure. Definitely check them out. Next up, we have Pepunki Creatures. Pepunki Creatures? I don't know. I had to show this one off. Look how unique this is. Look how angry he is. He's like an angry octopus. Or the queen frog. Guys, I love this. Or like the Grogu crab looking thing. Head crawler junk. What a fantastic art style. How unique is that? Look at this Stork Guardian. Guys, I love this so much. It just makes me smile, as you can tell. But I really appreciate, first of all, them seeing like, you know, hey, kind of where'd they get the idea of this? But I just like things that are different. Things, you know, I have so many minis, guys. If you guys are like me, I have so many minis. I like seeing new stuff. If you're new to the hobby, by the way, welcome. Glad I could be of help. Hopefully you are finding some cool ways to spend all your money. That's what I tend to do when I do my research on these things, but they're super cool. So hopefully you enjoy the 3D printing hobby. If you are not new, well, then hopefully find something new here. Next up, we have Green Skin Miniatures. And as you can see, we're rank and file, fantasy theme, big trolls that might remind you of a certain game or certain style of game. We got the green skins pledged here, which is a fun name. And these guys look great. They look really cool. I love the Egyptian guys there. That's super neat. You got a whole freaking chariot system going on there and stuff. Looks like they offer a wide variety of things, complete sets of things. Looks super cool. Definitely check them out. It's Green Skin Miniatures. Next up, we have the Surreal Factory. And this, again, I love seeing pictures like this because it's real. And I really dig that. Also, some super cool stuff. I can see what they call themselves, the Surreal Factory. I mean, look at this stuff. This is like the Chapter 2 It stuff going on here. Super cool, super unique, super different. And again, I appreciate it. I love it. Love that he's like standing on his legs like that. Super cool. I love the classic zombie stuff going on. It just is all really, really neat. And I think it's great. So super cool here. I really dig what I'm seeing there. Good job on that. Next up, we have Mini Monster Mayhem. Now, mini as in miniature, not necessarily a small, which you will see, I suppose. For instance, right here, you can see these gigantic, super cool space whales. I love it, guys. I love it. I actually really dig like cosmic whale kind of stuff, like whales flying in the sky and stuff like that, just because it's so different and interesting. At least to me, it triggers something in my head I really dig. But they have more normal looking kind of like almost robo dinos in this one, the Souls of Steel. I love, again, just they're all over the place, and I really, really dig it. I think that looks great. Next up, we have White Werewolf Tavern. I've actually spoken with them before, worked with them a little bit before. There's a few of you guys, I know you guys, I'm talking to the creators here, that have sent me minis to print. And I actually did print them, but they were like a year ago. I was trying to do this video a year ago. It is such a huge undertaking. Again, if you appreciate this, please at least consider a like or comment letting me know that I didn't waste many, many hours of my time here, but hopefully it's good for you. They are one of the ones I've spoken to before in the past, and they are a great bunch of people, and they do some fantastic looking stuff. I mean, just great looking stuff here. I love it. I dig it. It's cool. It's different. And it always is, but it's always their style, if that makes sense. So you get that kind of consistency. Look at these little guys. I dig it. The Mystical Forest, huh? Just really cool stuff. Feel free to check them out because they do some super cool work. Definitely high on my list. Next up, we have Eastman. He is well known for his fantastic busts. As you can see, these are just great. The amount of character he puts into it, based off the pose he does. I mean, look at the face on this one. You kind of see, I guess Spider-Man doesn't really get to do that. He can furrow his eyes a little bit, but they do great work there. And you can see we got Kratos, guys. We got Kratos. I am still playing through Ragnarok myself, so hopefully it's not a spoiler one. I don't think it is. It's just a bust of him. He's good. You're good backing it. Definitely highly recommended, though. They look great. Unit 9, another very popular kind of cyberpunk one, and they live and breathe it. I tell you, look at this. Love this. I love every single one of them. I love the jacket that she's doing there. I love the hexes and the triangles and the stuff like that they put all over their coats and textures and stuff. Just super cool stuff. Lots of trench coats, of course. Really cool vehicles that don't seem to have a window. All sorts of the stuff that you hope you want to get, and cyberpunk stuff. Super duper cool. Next up, Cyanide Miniatures. This is probably the one I was subscribed to the longest, actually. I really like their style and their variety. They do some great stuff. This one is the Cult of Metatron, which looks very interesting. Got lots of hands. They're very handsy there. That is very interesting. But then you can also get the Princes of Hell, which again look super interesting and cool. And they do all sorts of cool, just interesting stuff. Seems every single one lately is wings, but that's not always the case at all. Like here, most of these guys I don't think have wings, so you're good there. Look at that bird. Oh, looks great. They do some great stuff, for sure. Highly recommended. They print well, too. Next up, we got Cyberforge Miniatures. You'll see Titanforge here. It's actually, Titanforge was like the main one, and then they made Cyberforge for their sci-fi. Titanforge is fantasy. So you have two separate ones, but it's the same company, really. And again, looks super great. You can see they got stuff like Grim Realms. They got Titan City Stories. They got Hyperfun. All sorts of things, depending on what you want. Just a whole lot of really cool stuff. And they do a great job on it. They're a very good company, and I'm always impressed by what I see from them. That looks super cool. Next up, Mr. Modulork. This is a new one for me, so let's go ahead and look. I love the zoom in on the faces here. That is something I appreciate. It looks very maybe 40K-ish. Maybe you want a flamethrower orc guy with a lot of chains. They might be able to hook you up there. This is freaking sweet. I love this. Those are some cool freaking feet. He's had a doctor look at him and replace some of his bones and stuff. Very cool terrain. It looks like a boneyard kit. Very cool looking stuff. Definitely dig it. Definitely a unique spin on it. His own little thing. Really do dig that. Next up, we have Printed Obsession. The name says it all, I imagine. Looks super cool as well. Look at this, guys. Look at that. That is just great looking stuff. That's what that is. That looks awesome. Looks super cool. So they do a lot of different, I think, little bits and big pieces, if that makes sense. So you got, look at the tail on that. Man, it looks super cool. Love this as well. Very unique looking stuff. Very cool, stylized. Love the hat, the cat thing. Kind of reminds me a little Monster Hunter-ish, perhaps. Maybe a big weapon. Maybe a little Monster Hunter-ish, perhaps. I've never seen that guy before in my life, so I have no idea who that is. No, seriously though. Looks great. They got a huge wide variety of stuff available. Definitely should check them out. I think that looks awesome. Next up, Lord of the Print. And while I don't know if that's quite literal, it is definitely a cool one. And that is a fantastic picture. Fantastic picture. That looks freaking sweet. Just the scale of it, the how it tells a story just by looking at it looks great. Let's take a look at this. Let's load up. Oh my gosh. We got turtles, guys. We got turtles. I'm liking it. We got frogs. This is sweet. Love it. So different. Sweet. Look at little mice, guys. That is, love it. That is great. That's really good stuff. And then you go like, okay, this is like, it went from cute to, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome. Can you imagine having that printed in your house? This is a big old boss. You sit down the table. Look at this. Whew. Okay, I gotta stop looking again. I'm gonna be spending money with you guys. We're all gonna be poor together, guys. Don't worry about it. Let's move on from that. Artisan Guild, another big name. Definitely a popular one. Looks super cool. Let's see. It looks like they do mostly videos, which is kind of hard to show off. But you can see, here's some pictures of some of them. You get an idea of kind of what we're looking at here. Definitely cool. Definitely unique. I really like, again, the complete sets where you almost get like a whole unit of them for a variety of different things that you might want to use. Definitely neat. The Lion's Tower Print Paint Play. What a great subtitle there. New to me as well, but this looks great. And I love the coloration. It's very different. And I did that. Very lion-y, if that makes sense, I suppose. And these minis look really cool. Really dig the style there. I mean, this guy's got some attitude. And I love that they gave him a beard. That's, I think, a nice little touch. Definitely cool, for sure. Love the dress on that. I like painting like big, like regal dresses. I think it's super cool. You get to use a lot of colors. Definitely some army guys there, though their heads are very interesting. I don't know what's going on there. That is fascinating. Definitely unique. That is for sure. All right, next up we have Stonehaven Miniatures. And guys, I mean, these elementals, love it. I think elementals are used in so many games. And it's nice to be able to change things up a little bit. And this looks like it was a cool October as well. We got some classic monsters, and this guy's freaking cool. I dig that. Definitely neat. So anyway, yeah, definitely a unique take on a lot of stuff. We got hippos again, guys. There must be a hippos thing going on. Looks super neat. I'm saying that a lot. I apologize. All this stuff is super cool. Monsterous Encounters, a great name, by the way. That is awesome. And it looks like we're doing a little of everything. We got some sci-fi stuff. We almost got some like Hero Quest looking stuff. We got some maybe some space wizards going on. We got a, oh my gosh, what is that? That looks fantastic. Let me take a look at that. That looks cool. That looks neat. Okay, yeah, we got this guy. He's got some character. I like him. Look at he's balding. I think that's great. I love that. That's fantastic. You got a whole bunch of zombies there. So it looks like really you can't quite zoom in a lot on. Uh-oh. I think my internet, guys. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm telling you, my RAM. I have so many tabs open. Maybe they were right when they said this is not possible. Okay, it looks super cool though. Definitely neat. They say it works with stuff like Warhammer Fantasy, D&D, Pathfinder, Frostgrave, and other fantasy genres. And it might even do well in like 40k Necromunda, stuff like that. Definitely looks neat for sure, and you can kind of get a good variety there, I feel. Next up, we got Cat in the Box Miniatures. Very fun title. I dig that. I also really love the Cat Wizard making like, you know, like Naruto signs going on there or something. And a very Conan Askew guy too. Definitely dig that. Wow, that is cool. I really like the design of that. I might have to stop clicking on these pictures, guys. I don't know how much longer I can go. Let's see if it'll zoom in or not. There we go. We got it. Definitely unique. It seems more lanky, right? It's a little bit skinnier, a little bit taller, a little bit longer. Not very bulky at all, even with the armor. Very, very neat. Very cool. I love that that's hollow there. That looks super great. Instead of it just kind of being faked out. Definitely cool. It looks like they hide a lot of their other stuff, but as you can tell, they do some good quality stuff by the looks of it. Blue Wolf Miniatures. Look at that terrain, or that tank, sorry. And these guys might look a little familiar. I love that they incorporated the basing in there and really kind of made them kind of hiding there. Got some robots. Maybe you could even call them droids. So definitely if you're into Star Wars Legion, something like that, this is, I think, definitely something you might want to take a look at. Looks like that would be right up your alley. Oh, crap. Look at this. This is the King of Average. That's right. I have a Patreon. Hey, I don't make digital like art or anything like that, but if you appreciate a crazy, stupid video like this where I show off way too many so that you can use it at your leisure, I guess you could throw me a bone, perhaps. Anyway, that'll be linked down below as well. Let's move on to the stuff you actually care about, though. Next up, you have Diverging Realm. This looks very kind of 40k-ish to me, but also not. Right? It looks like a very unique spin on it. So I'm building the Adeptus Custodes right now, so the jet bike looks kind of familiar, but also kind of not. I really dig that. I like it how visually different it is. It doesn't look like they share too much of actually kind of showing off the things. Okay, they're just directly in the post itself. Okay, well that's a little bit different. I mean, I love the floating guy. That's super cool. Man, I might have to take a look at this. I'm building this kind of army looking right now, but yeah, definitely neat and quite unique. I mean, that's cool. And so we got Fotis Mint, another very popular bust maker, and you can see why. It's not all busts. You can see he's full size there. Just looking great here. Look at this guy, Deathwing figure. Love it. This dragon looks super cool. I really dig it. Well, that's right about where he was cut too, right? Maybe in his little belly there. Love it. Very cool. If you're a fan of any... Guys, come on. If you're a fan of any of these IPs, I think you're going to be a big fan of this one. Next up, we have Manuel Boria. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Love his, like, the top of it, because we got the little owl bears. We got the little... They're like... It's a cutesy D&D. But then you got, like, all these really cool-looking, like, Chocobo Rider-looking dinosaur dudes. This is a wheelchair jester, by the looks of it. It looks like we got maybe some people that spread some plague. Perhaps, maybe for, maybe they would call it a garden. Looks neat. I dig it. This looks super cool. Yeah, they look awesome. I like it. Very unique. Very unique. Caleb makes minis. Well, I'm glad Caleb does, because it looks he's doing a good job. This looks very, very cool. I love the lighting on all of it is super neat. The coloration, I guess I should say. Very cool renders too. They're very smooth. I really dig that. Very cool use of like texture here and stuff. And look at the motion that those chains provide. Very cool. Very unique. I like this a lot. It's very smooth. Like everything just seems so smooth, right? It's not very gritty, if that makes sense. And I really dig that. I think it's cool. I love it. That's awesome. Looks like you just get the mini, probably not the base per se, so keep that in mind. Love it. Yeah, looks cool. I dig it. You guys should check that one out. Next up, we got Dino and Dog Miniatures. And as you can see, we got some dinos and dog question mark. Definitely cool. Look at this. I think this is almost doing it a disservice, because then you look at this, you're like, oh my gosh. Guys, you want a Jurassic Park game. There you go. You want to do an RPG on your tabletop where you come across one of these bad boys. You got it, man. That's it. And we got... What the heck? That's awesome. I dig it. They're very big on dinos. Ah, that's super cool. Guys, who doesn't love dinosaurs? We're all so... I mean, I remember being a kid. You guys remember being a kid? Never quite grew out of liking dinosaurs. At least if you're like me. That's awesome. Station Forge. Super cool. This looks very Warhammer-ish, but not, because it's Imperial Guard and there's like trees and stuff like that. It looks kind of nice. And then this almost looks more like a 40k world, but lasts a little bit, almost Mars-y a little bit. Looks very cool. Looks very unique. So they're definitely doing their own little thing here. Guys, you wanna print some cool, just the bases. I love bases. I'm big on bases. Or if you're an Imperial Guard player, do me a favor. Buy a whole bunch of dead bodies. You'll have plenty of them. Just buy a whole bunch of dead bodies. You may as well field those. That's all they're good for. I kid. They actually just recently got an update. They look really good. But anyway, so that's the point. Love this. You can get kind of ogre-ish kind of looking people maybe. Definitely cool. Even the bits. This is such a great way to customize things. Oh, I love that they're offering that. Looks super cool. Look at these guys. Oh, man. That's how I see Imperial Guard every time I see them. That's I'm kidding. But I'm not. No, this looks super cool. I dig it. Love it. It looks like they have the whole range of things, and they definitely have a unique style that it kind of sets them apart from a lot. Speaking of unique styles, I actually do know this one. Zane Rogers here is like freaking alien stuff here. Like, look at this. Look at that. You don't see a lot of this everywhere. This looks awesome. At the low in the show, I think he started with masks mostly, but now he does all these really cool minis with it as well. I wonder if it looks like it's just more pictures of that, but you can see what I'm talking about there. Like, it's very, very cool looking stuff. Definitely cool. Polygrim, another new one for me, so let's go ahead and check them out together. And look at that, we got some space dwarves. Surprise, surprise. I wonder why we're seeing so many space dwarves lately. Again, the bits are great. I love that. Even if you're just interested in new shoulder pads or a different kind of weapon or head option, stuff like that, those are so valuable. I love it. These look actually really cool. I like a lot of these. Definitely neat. I love like aiming down the gun. You don't see that very often, I feel. So that's really neat. Next up, Naga Minis. Again, it's freaking cute. Look at the salamander guy. He looks awesome. I dig it. We got the chef bear going on there. Look at that. These all look super cool. Definitely one of those like farm looking kind of things almost. You got the mouse farmer, the snake florist, but then you have like the eagle barbarian, because of course you do. Looks super neat. I dig that. That looks awesome. Next up, we have Void Realm Minis. And what a great banner that is. It just looks cool. Cosmic Horror SDLs. Oh, man. I know a lot of people that love the cosmic horror stuff. And my goodness. Looking cool. Looking weird. Looking different. In my opinion, cosmic horror should be something where I can almost get a sense of its form, but then also I can't make sense of it. I think that's the perfect example of that kind of right there, actually. That's really, really well done. Yeah, that's gross. That's gross, dude. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. Woo. Yeah, I got cosmic and horror going on in there. Battle Yak Miniatures. What a great name. Battle Yak. I want a Battle Yak. Sounds wonderful. These guys look super cool. A lot of basing on them for sure. Like, they are like, oh, and they're okay. You can get them kind of flat without the bases too. So you get a kind of the option here. This is cool. We're going to get some Bioshock stuff in here, right? Is that what we're doing there? Looks neat. Looks cool. Again, unique style. I love it. I love the different color that they're using on their minis as well. Next up, we got Clinch. I'm going to assume this one is new to me, but dear Lord. Man, that paint job is fantastic on that. That looks great. Look at these guys. God, man, I love it. These look cool. How unique is all of this? Look at the texture on that. Man, that'd be great to paint. That is just amazing. Yeah, we got maybe a Balrog here, looks like. Definitely cool. Oh, yeah. That's a Balrog. All right. Very, very cool. All right, next up we have Fotis Miniatures. Again, sorry if I'm saying any of this wrong. Let's take a look at what they got here. Looks like they have a whole lot of units here. This reminds me of Time of Legends. If you know the Joan of Arc board game from Mythic Games back in the day, it had a very similar kind of low fantasy style, but still have all the kind of interesting fantasy bits in there as well, like stuff like hyena mendels, stuff like that, dragons, like angels and stuff. Very, very cool. And I love a good scythe. You guys know that. I've already said that. Looks awesome. Next up, Epics in Stuff. Looks great. I love this. I mean, I zoom in on this every single time, but look at this. First of all, let me solo her. That's awesome. You get that. Love the different inspirations it got. Everything from anime to video games. Looks like a bunch of great stuff. We got a big pile of poop. I wonder where that's from. Looks great. I love it. All right. Well, we are not quite halfway done. We actually still have a bit to go. I need to go get a drink, so I'm going to cut this out and come right back. All right, got a little drink in me, but I guess we'll pause real quick just to say that I hope you are enjoying the video, finding something cool, at least to consider, to bookmark for later, to investigate more of. I know you could spend like $1 million on all of these based off how many I'm covering, and we still have plenty more to go. Some super cool ones, even some big ones still coming up. But anyway, just hope that you do appreciate it. Please let me know if you do. And if I do miss anything, let me know as well in the comments below. Let us all know. I can add to the list. There are plenty more always coming up. There's more I just don't know about, and I would love to find out about. This is the whole point. You guys can come back to this video as many times as you need to kind of look over the list and figure out what's cool, what's not, what the styles are, see maybe where you want to do something. Especially if you have something in mind, like, oh, I want to run this campaign or want to do this or that or paint this. Maybe this will be helpful for you. I hope it is anyway. All right, let's go ahead and dive back in, see how long I last this time. All right, so next up we have STL Miniatures, a very straightforward name. It's nobody else can take it now. STL Miniatures is taken, so they nabbed that one. So good for them on that. That'll just come up in any search, right? I mean, that's great branding there. They, I believe, do a lot of group stuff, I think is what they do. I think they like cover other people's stuff, but maybe not. Maybe not, because this looks like it's very kind of themed and made for them. So maybe I'm wrong there. But either way, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Looks like a lot of it's art. Here we go. Here's another look at that. Look at this. This is really cool. I love the bed chamber. That's awesome. You get some busts. You get some people. Oh, look at the dynamic knight there. That looks great. Really digging all that. That looks awesome. The thrones are really cool too. I dig that. Definitely cool thematic stuff. And I like when they're not just one-offs like that. I like that it's kind of all coherent, but also not just minis. A lot of stuff. Bite the Bullet, another great group there. I have been a patron of them in the past before. They look super cool. Like the stuff they do is just awesome. And again, I think it has a very unique style. Like, look at the hair on that. That is fantastic. They like highlighting the hair even. And I think that's smart to notice that, because it looks like they're kind of doing a whole bunch there, which is super, super neat. Looks like they have bases that you can kind of combine with other things. These look like almost elemental stuff again, which is super cool. I dig that. Maybe that's look at this little bird guy. I love the bird guy. That's awesome. Oh, he's got his dangly leg stuff. It's like Cthulhu bones. That's what that is. Love it. Looks super neat. I dig it. They're definitely out there. Next up, Sacros Mundus. They do some great terrain. I've actually bought some of their stuff on my main factory. I haven't been a patron of theirs because I've actually just looked at like their backlog and bought stuff, and it looks great. It prints up really good too. I use it for Warhammer, actually, is what I use it for. But as you can see, it can be used for Star Wars too. This is great for Star Wars Legion, I feel, or really any kind of sci-fi thing. But I mean, we got all sorts of different stuff. I mean, this could be Fallout if you wanted it too. Maybe you're into Wasteland Warfare or something like that. Just really cool stuff, a wide variety, and like I said, it prints actually really well. It's a good quality stuff. And so we have Crosslance. This is new for me, but my goodness, Crowman. Who doesn't like Crowman? Look at this rogue crow, dude. Fantastic. Or this bard. I like how he's like, it's like squawking. Love it. That's awesome. What a great take on that. That's fantastic. Super cool. Yeah, it looks like they've been doing that for a while, so that's awesome. So feel free to check that out, see what else they've done, perhaps. Next up, we have Argycopolis STL Miniature Figurines. That is our ARJK Bullis miniatures and figurines. That's a little bit easier to say. That's the same thing, I guess. They don't have STL in there. That's what's different. Love the sign though of that. What a variety too. Look at this like chick versus like this chick versus like this chick here. Like there's a huge difference between them all. This is your robbers. Oh, very cool. All right, I'm seeing some inspiration here. I dig that. That's different. Look at the hell of the what. This is great. Oh, look at that. He's got his pants down and everything. That's awesome. I dig it. Super cool stuff. Wow, they have a very unique look to them that I'm really digging. Super cool. All right, yeah, feel free to check them out. They have a long name, but a cool thing that they have going on there. The printing goes ever on. They're showing off with their animated banners here. Fancy people like that. It's because they're actually making their own mini stuff. You build your printable army interactive web app with STL export. It sounds super neat, of course. But, I mean, they do some great stuff, too. Very Lord of the Rings askew, and if you're doing anything fantasy or in the Lord of the Rings world, this is something I think will fit right alongside that and do quite well. And as you can see, they offer really cool terrain as well. Very cool terrain. This is very, very, very cool as well. Fantasy and worms often don't go together, but when they do, they're very neat. Yeah, just great stuff. Looks like they offered just about everything. They've been around for a while too, so I'm sure they have a great backlog selection as well. Imitation of Life Miniatures. That's a cool name. I dig that. And I like the IOL, almost like 101 minis. Very, very cool. And this looks fantastic. I love when they show real prints. I love the little kind of table decoration stuff. That is awesome. Like, that's great. I dig it. Again, with the actual prints, I love that. Yeah, show them off. Those are cool. Very cool. It looks like there's a lot of different parts, so you can definitely customize them quite a lot, is what I imagine on that. Next up, we have the Dork Factory, which is a fantastic name, of course. That might be one of the best names. The Dork Factory. I feel like that's a factory for me. Very cool terrain. I can see that right now. And very interesting minis that looks like it could be used in a few different things, actually. This is just awesome. This is a cool looking mini is what it is. Regardless of anything. Guys, look at that. That's very, very scary looking is what that is. Oh, there it is. This is very, very thematic. I dig it. Oh, this looks cool. I love it. I love what they're doing here. This terrain here, guys, looks awesome. Great terrain. I'm loving that terrain a lot, actually. Next up, we have Dragon's Lake Miniatures, and as you can see, they do some great textures on their minis. That texture looks stellar for sure. Love the highlight of the ice there. I think that's great. It's kind of nice to see minis with a little bit of color on them, just so you're drawing out kind of what it would naturally look like painted, because so often the gray makes everything kind of look the same, right? Even if it's not, you just kind of bring more attention to that. So anyway, it looks super cool. Love those shields, by the way, too. That looks super neat as well. All right, next up we have Flesh of Gods, another fantastic one. I've been in contact with them. I've printed some of their stuff. They look great. They really do. I love how gritty they are. Look at that. I love the sense of motion and character that they have. Just looks fantastic. Look at that. Oh, love it. Just great looking minis. That's what they offer, and that's pretty much all they offer. I love this style. It really does speak to me. Look at that dragon, guys. That's a good looking dragon. That's what that is. It's so great. It's so great. All right, next up we have Project Mobius, which just sounds fun, of course. And it's not just, I guess, one project, but this very much looks like Infinity to me. But any kind of sci-fi thing I think would work with this. And it looks super cool. It looks super modular too. Like I think you can kind of see that there. Looks great. It uses the open lock system, which is very easy to print, so I do appreciate that. Looks definitely very neat. G-Sculpt art, again, looks fantastic. Looks like they got really good texture, which I really appreciate. And again, I love the color, but I mean, just the uniqueness of it, right? You got like the tattoos on the leg, and then you got the kind of spirit wisp thing going on there. It looks definitely neat. You can kind of see the base there. Also fantastic. And then even like, I mean, they're showing off different parts like the face and stuff. Look at the texture on the hair. Fantastic is what that is. Just super duper cool. So definitely, I think, a unique take on a lot of the stuff that you normally see in very high quality. Again, the texture on that hair just blows me away. All right, next up we have Role Playing and Miniatures. And again, they know exactly what they're making minis for, and they're doing a good job on it. And they have a whole lot here that you can kind of see the art of a lot, but they kind of don't show off the minis super well. It's mostly just the art. They have a little bit of kind of stuff here, which is cool. But I think for the most part, what you're looking at is the art And then, of course, and this is, I think, inspiration and kind of votes that they do. But you can see the quality here, what they provide, right? And this, I think, looks great. Like, it looks super cool. Love that fish. So you're going to want to probably focus on the top there by the looks of it. Next up, we have, and again, this is another big one, Papsicles. Papsicles? I think it is. They do a ton of sci-fi stuff, a ton of it, sci-fi, cyber stuff, and it's just really, really good quality stuff. They do so much. It is impressive how much they do, and how much they still have like ideas. Like, this is super cool. I love the Bushido looking kind of Japanese stuff going on here. Definitely neat. And they constantly do that. They're constantly. I mean, this is a Predator looking kind of thing going on, right? So very cool, very different. Love the stuff that they do. And so we have Dark Fire Designs, which is, again, a great name. And as you can see, very Star Wars Legion-esque. So if you're playing that, this is something that might be interesting to you. And again, anytime you're working with something that's similar to an IP or inspired by an IP or could be used to like proxy and stuff for an IP, you tend to kind of want to hide it a little bit and not make it too forward. So that's why sometimes it's hard to see examples like that. So I apologize for that. Garrig Miniatures, fantastic looking stuff here. I mean, really, really good stuff. Full figures, but look at the cloth and how it grips the form underneath it and stuff like that. Just a really good attention to detail. They definitely are an artist that knows what they're doing. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. They do a very good job with all of this. Like, this is all really, really, like, look at the face here, guys. Again, just looks wonderful. Look at the fear in his eyes. My goodness, I'd be afraid too. So definitely check them out. I think they're doing some great work there. Next up, we have Daka Store, which, you know, very orcish perhaps in its name, but not always orcish in what they produce. Look at this. Look at the bits behind it, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, it just looks great. It really does. I mean, the bits and all that stuff are just awesome. Love how helpful that is. And as you can see, they do all sorts of stuff. It's not just that. That's like a Kickstarter they did for like a normal kind of print that they'll do. I mean, look at this. Oh, man. Love holding the demon head like that. I think that's great. That's super cool. Looks like you get some discounts as well. Definitely very interesting. Definitely reminiscent of perhaps certain armies I've seen. Definitely cool. Next up, Schlossbauer, I think is Schlossbauer. I'm not sure exactly how to say this one though. Very unique design, or I guess way of doing things. Like these feathers, almost, I don't want to say look like fur, but they're very unique in the texture on there that I really dig. And so I just love how unique and different they're doing a lot of this stuff. I like that they're doing different stuff. I always appreciate that, almost more than anything. Look at this guy. It's freaking sweet. Just a super cool looking guy. Next up, Prey STL collection. Again, great stuff. You get a jet shark, robo shark guy going on. I mean, that's what you want, right? That's what everybody wants is this. This is what we want. Looks great. Love it. I can see inspirations from several different things. I think they're doing a good job on all of this. It definitely is all different and unique and super cool. And I don't think we're going to get an image of that. My poor internet connection, my poor computer. All right, next up we have Spirit of Resin. They are a relative newcomer, I believe, as well. I think they've only been around for a little while, and they are looking fantastic. And again, doing something unique, and I appreciate that. Again, it's a little hard to see all their stuff, but as you can see, it looks great. Look at that. Who even thinks this stuff up? I don't know. Definitely unique looking stuff. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm just happy they're doing stuff that I haven't seen before. I'm just not creative enough, I think. Monstrous Makings, again, another great name. And again, we get the bits. Really appreciate the bits. Super cool, super fun to do. Really anything you want with that. You can put it on terrain, you can put it on a mini, you can do whatever you want. You can make it larger, you can customize and do new stuff with it. Love it. And it looks like they've been doing that for quite some time. So very cool to see all of that. Next up, we have GadgetWorks Miniatures. And this is another one that I think is themed really, really neat. This is very kind of Egyptian-like, which I really like. I like the stuff on the elephant there. I think that's great. Apparently I couldn't remember what it was called. The cave and pillars and stuff like that. They're just doing a really cool job where they constantly like release this stuff in the same kind of theme. So you end up getting a whole lot of that. You can use it for like a whole campaign or something like that, or a whole line of miniatures anyway. Last Sword Miniatures, new to them as well. They look super neat though. I really dig like how hunched over it is. I really like the kind of determined furrow brow that they have going on there. I like that. These guys just look fun. They just look fun. They're like Larry Curly MO, the ogres. Angry peasants, everybody loves that. Some very cool traditional classical looking kind of armor and stuff too. So again, I just like that they're doing different stuff. I dig it. Whew, all right, guys, that was a lot for just part 1, but there will be more. There will be a part 2 and at least a part 3, potentially even more than that, especially if you guys let me know about some of the ones that I might be missing. Now that, obviously this is not all the ones I'm covering, so you don't know all of those quite yet, though I will get those out in a timely manner. But let me know anyway, because there might very well be one I don't know, and I can add to the list and then film it and include it in the video, which benefits everybody more than just having it linked as a oops, missed it kind of thing. So do let us know of anything that you find very interesting down in the comments below. And with that, that's all I have for today, at least. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, guys. Bye.